Are you cast?
I'm cast, yes.
How are you performing this evening?
Well, we're in the grand finale. We're the Melbourne Gay and Lesbian Chorus.
What range do you sing in?
I'm the alto.
Alto, so that's the very kind of deeper, sexy voice.
Yes, that's
Of course, you didn't even expect to be here this evening.
No, I didn't, Oz. I simply came up for a scrummy lunch with a friend today.
Do you know what number you're performing, the name, or...?
We're just backing Suan Walker.
So you just do la la la?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I'm here for Kamal.
Are you a fan of Kamal?
Look, a huge fan. As of last week, but still a huge fan. It doesn't take very long.
And they insisted you come along?
No, I offered to come along to help out.
Yeah, to volunteer your services.
Well, of course, darling.
Because it is a fundraiser for the Victorian AIDS Council.
Yes.
Are you familiar with his music? Do you any favourite numbers? When a Child is Born, or...?
Oh, look, I don't think you can go past the Dilmah Tea commercial myself.
Is this the first time for you?
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And terribly exciting, of course, that one of the headline talents tonight is Kamal.
Absolutely wonderful.
How did you hear about this auspicious event?
Well, of course, the Midsumma Guide.
Do you have a connection with this theatre at all when it was cinema?
I do.
Yes. Fond memories of coming along?
7-year-old and the stars in the ceiling. It was lovely.
Any other events on the agenda for you for Midsumma?
All the party ones.
Tell me about your shirt.
I can't remember where that came from. Something Mum gave me, probably.
What brings you along this evening?
We came last year and had a good night, so decided to come back this year.
Are you just a tad bitter about the Rainbow Awards?
Rainbow Awards, I'm changing it to 7 Shades of Grey.
As a patron of the arts, what's your general impression of performance, lesbian and gay performance?
Well, I think they're everywhere, really. I mean, I went to the opening night of The Sun Also Sizzles last night, which was magnificent. Homosexuals as far as the eye could see.
This piece is based on like the idea that in society, everyone knows about the femme fatale, the fatal female that is the enticer, and that kind of thing. And I see that in some men that I know, and I just wanted to represent that as like a part of male culture as well. That there are men that are capable of that kind of thing as well, and it's not necessarily so much in the trying to be handsome, overly handsome or anything, but it's just his whole body, his whole sort of like etheric nature. Yeah, I make them on a turntable, so I photograph the model first, and then I build up the basic shape from the photographs in front of a grid, and then I bring the model in and sculpt for like 3 months from just observing the figure, and then I spend about a month sort of casting it into the fiberglass. Number 5 is like an earth number. Number 4 is sort of like the number of perfection. Number 9, the cowboy, is like a finishing number. But they're things that just imbue the work with kind of like a vitality. I see like a mythical side to my friends who I sculpted in this work, and I wanted to bring out that in a sort of beautiful way, and things like astrology and numerology and all of that sort of stuff. They're not articles of faith per se, they're just things that I find really interesting in the world. God senses his shadow, his darker self behind him, and he looks around and tries to sort of see his darker self, but he can't quite see him, so but he senses him there, and he individuates his darker self into his life as a positive force. In the 20th century, have you ever seen like a life-size figure with a hairy chest? I don't think so. It's sort of kind of bizarre, yeah. But yeah, well, it sort of relates to my own sexual experience. I've always, liked big chunky guys with hairy chests. What can I say? Well, he's kind of like the intelligent sort of man of the series, because he's the fool. He still maintains a sense of humour. And he kind of, is a bit of a dreamer as well. It's almost like this whole work is kind of like a dream emanating from him. I don't know, I think there's abstract qualities to what I do when you look at this work as a whole. I think it sort of has some sort of abstract qualities as well, just the idea of the circle is an abstract element. Oh, it's an interesting thing, that time thing, because I think so many people are living their lives in a way that they're kind of sentimental about the past and anxious about the future, and they just compress their lives into a thin sliver of you know, sort of, I don't know, sort of a shallow life, you know. And I think this work has taught me to, you know, that time is not linear, you know, that we can actually just, you know, get through things and live in the now moment. To have the courage to be an artist in our society, you know, you just have to have some sort of kind of armour, you know, to sort of get through it. I think, you know, the lesbian culture does a hell of a lot to understand themselves and you know, articulate, place them in a positive way in society and community, and I hope that this work has like a healing ability to be able to do that for gay men and men in general, you know, to be able to realise that they are, you know, just that little bit, you know, more diverse and not always pull the same line, you know. What I'm trying to do is just create some space for men to move and to sort of get away from the idea that men just have to be heroic and strong the whole time, that they can also be submissive, they can also be destructive, they can be foolish, they can be a number of different ways of being, you know. And that can only be a healthy thing, I think.
We found ourselves in the bar here for Furball. Hi there.
Hey darling, how are you?
Gosh, I love your headdress.
Thank you very much.
I'm so pleased to see a little bit of glamour is coming back.
We have to try our best, don't we?
What possessed you to do your hair the same colour?
Well, I'm actually a natural blonde, and my boyfriend down here has chosen to copy me, that's all.
Yeah. Well, I've heard blondes get more sex, so if it's going to help, I'm going to do it, all right?
Was that a feather that you had on stage?
That was an eagle's feather that a friend of mine gave to me from a field in Tasmania on the east coast.
Highly symbolic.
It helped me sort of fly.
I know you have an album out at the moment, am I right?
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Thylacine, which is a Tasmanian tiger, which is where I'm from.
Enjoying the performance?
Wonderful, wonderful. I just thought that the little dog sat there all by itself and didn't even bark the entire time during the whole episode.
Yes, you are performing this evening.
Yes, I just made a couple of doves up here.
Are they your pet birds and they have, you know, a happy life outside all the rigmarole of performance?
They do.
Have you had a good evening here?
I've had a wonderful evening. I've seen some wonderful performances.
Yes, isn't there a lot of talent in Melbourne?
There is, as I burp.
What's your verdict on the performance?
It was fabulous. Good night.
Yes, good night.
Hula hoops were fantastic.
Isn't it extraordinary they can get so many going at once? You did travel recently to Asia, am I right?
I did. I went to the Philippines. I went to Manila.
To Manila, and how did that go?
Oh, it was really fun. It was very much fun.
And did you get a suntan?
I did.
The Princess Line Variety Hour and a Half, which is an integral part of Midsumma, at the Up Top Cocktail Bar.
Hi there. Look, hello, what's your name? Oh, how sweet. We've gone all Slavic here.
Russian fables. Yes.
Are you a little bit nostalgic about Red Raw and the last one down on the dock?
Believe it or not, I choked today when someone asked me something about, you know, what would be your favourite, you know, moment. I was like, don't make me pick one. It's like there's been so many.
What are you talking about? There's so much more. I think
feels like his voice is so much bigger and he's holding it back. You know, occasionally it bursts forth and you think, my God, that's a huge voice. And it's not just the sound system.
So really all she's saying is that he's more of a singer than he was tonight. But I don't think she means
I'm
that
saying that he could sing louder.
I started off trying to sing like Nat King Cole and singing very softly and crooning. And then a few years later, I was nearly expelled from this country, so I had to go to the conservatorium and pretend to study. So they taught me voice. But it was very difficult to listen to what they were trying to tell me. So eventually, I evolved my own sound.
How did it feel on stage in front of all those people? Because you were very well received this evening.
Well, I was pleasantly surprised. In fact, I didn't get a chance to see all of them because the audience were in the dark. I normally like to see who I'm talking to or singing to.
Did you see Kamal backstage?
He was such a lovely man. I heard him warming up and thought, oh, if I could only sing that low.
Was he doing his vocal exercise?
Yes, he was.
What a phenomenal voice.
He's a wonderful man and so friendly.
Are you associated with Midsumma anymore?
I just offer lots of love and warmth and support.
Candy said, "We'll come on Sunday night, next Sunday, and perform in Candy's bar at Seven Heaven." I said, "Oh, okay, you've got to do the Barbarella look and all that sort of thing." There was a section, like, you know, like everywhere today, they have like a little bar area within the nightclub where they do drag shows. And the hosts were Miss Candy, Coco, Hot Coco, and Victoria Bitter. If you want to perform, you just bought a tape along, or probably like a whole bucket of tapes if you wanted to like perform all night. And they just sort of slotted you in and said, "Oh, you're on next." And after you've done one number, sort of like, if you want to do another one, it's like, well, not this one, not the next one, but you're on after the third person. And so it kept on, it went on to like 7 in the morning. She said, well, because everyone's doing like, they're doing Patsy Cline, they're doing Shirley Bassey, they're doing all those sort of numbers. We need something young, we need something modern, we need something today, and that's like really fresh. Every Sunday night I was there, and I was there till 7 in the morning, and I did about 12 Kylie tracks each Sunday night. And then 7 o'clock would come, the nightclub would close down, Candy and I would hop on a tram. We used to rush home, wipe it all off. I used to meet her on the corner, we used to walk down Toorak Road together in the morning. We were always late. I used to get to work at like at least 10 o'clock, and I should have been there at 8:30. Charlotta and her beautiful boy started up 2 years ago. We're going into our 3rd year now. At first, it's a bit of a culture shock because, like, all my life I've done like shows throughout different clubs. I've done like, you know, openings and, you know, private parties and, you know, all that sort of thing. So virtually I was my own boss. Joining a group show and touring as well, it's like, it was quite hard at first, but you sort of learn tricks of the trade, you know, after like 6 months. Because we travel in Taragos, we're like the Muppets on heat, you know, and basically you sort of, when, you know, if you're like a person in the town that we arrive in, and you see us drive past, you know, sort of, we're all sort of looking out the window, all like, you know, big hair and face. Of course, all they get like is Slim Dusty or Kamal. So when we have feathers and diamante bikinis and, you know, big hair and these gorgeous, you know, 6 gorgeous things on stage, they go, oh. When they see the caption "Beautiful Boys," they sort of, they know it's a drag show, but they think it's like, they think it's going to be very Priscilla orientated, which is natural to think. And they just think, you know, like muscly, hairy chest, hairy arms, you know, can't walk on high heels, you know, that sort of, you know, very ugly, you know, truck drivers in dresses. When the show opens up and we come out, it's the first time they see us, and they just go, oh my God, you know, sort of like, you know, legs and bodies and hair and, you know, tits and, yes. After the show, we explained it to them. It's like, oh, we are, no, I still don't believe it. You know, it's like, where do you put it and how'd you get those? How do you do your makeup and what makeup do you use? And we do explain to them that, you know, the makeup that we do use is the normal makeup that they use, but we just put more of it on, you know what I mean? They'd put a slice of eyeliner on, we put like a whole, you know, whole containers, you know. We start up at Star City on the 15th of March for 5 months. There's more girls coming in the show, bigger costumes, like staging wise, like sets for each number. We're coming down to Melbourne in September, Crown, and we're doing Tasmania Casino, Launceston, Hobart, West Point, so. I did one Carly number and I bought the house down and it's been Carly, Carly, Carly ever since.
I was like blown away by this dance party thing, and I'd just come out as well.
And I thought, I want to get up there on stage. So I rang Geraldine at the Also Foundation and I said, look, I'm a dancer, I've got a troupe together, I'd like to be involved in the next party. But I'd say I've done probably 50 dance parties, and that's 2 or 3 shows, so that's 150 shows at least, maybe a bit less. Choreography doesn't need to be intricate, it just needs to be simple and effective. And when I do choreograph, I choreograph from an audience perspective so that it's visually effective. That same year I went to Sleazeball and I choreographed 2 shows for Sleaze, and I've been doing shows for them ever since as well. Probably not as many as Also, but I've done quite a few. One of the other most memorable shows I've done is Three is Family at Mardi Gras, which was 95, mainly because it was the biggest cast I ever worked with, and also that there were like 14 different groups on stage, and they all had separate entrances and they all had their separate piece of choreography when they came on. So it was a lot for me to think about and to coordinate. I'm into all that synchronisation, but as long as it's simple, and it's something I've got to remind myself, because people are there to have a good time and they want to be on stage, and a lot of them haven't done that before, so you've got to take that into consideration. And sometimes I do get a little bit hard on myself and the cast, so I'm always trying to tell myself, look, calm down, it's no big deal, it'll come together. But it's just that I think because I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm a perfectionist. I've also had the opportunity to produce and direct my own shows as well as choreograph, and I mean they trust me, and that's in a sense I'm lucky that they can go, look, we've got a 3 o'clock show, we know you can pull it off, here it is, do what you want, this is the budget, and they don't ask any questions. And that's fantastic, because I become really passionate about what I'm doing, and it's all my own sort of personality coming out, and I get really, really excited. I'm always in rehearsals going, now guys, don't look at me, just like try and interpret my steps in your own little way, and then I'll clean it up. And if I see someone out of the cast that's doing it really, really well, I go, now everyone watch that person. I want you to be like them. Yeah. I think my style is very sexual, because I'm right into that sexual energy. I think it's something that happens as you get older. You think time's running out. But no, I think that's just my own style. I mean, when I grew up, I was right into the video clip thing, and Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul, and I just wanted to be like them. And I wouldn't even consider myself as a good dancer. And I don't think you need to be a great dancer to be a good choreographer. And basically I work the way I know how. No one's taught me to do what I do. I mean, I've gone and I've done dance classes and I've done a bit of street dancing, but I've basically taught myself. So I'm sort of just doing what I know best, really. Melbourne is, we're nationally known for our dance party, but we're also internationally known as well. Aside from Mardi Gras, I mean, they're very well respected internationally, but our Melbourne dance parties are as well, because we've built them to a standard that they're just world class. I think people now, like over the last couple of years, have been taking the dance parties down there for granted, back to Shed 14. And I think people are actually thinking hard now, because it's the last one. They're going to go, oh my God, well it is the last one, will there be another dance party? And I think there'll be other dance parties, but they might be on a different scale, and certainly the atmosphere will be different because it'll be in a new location. But also trends that are set change all the time as well, and I think down at the docks, I think that's going to be an era on its own. You know, people will reflect in 2 or 3 years and they'll go, do you remember the dance parties down there, weren't they amazing? God, I wish we had those days back. But I'm actually glad that we are forced to change, because I think change is good. Yeah.
What's that a tattoo of? It's a unicorn.
Oh yes, and it's a temporary tattoo.
They last about 2 or 3 days, but they can come off instantly with any perfume or baby oil.
I was dancing one day and I saw Ronald Reagan next to me. It was a really bad trip.
I wasn't dancing with Margaret Thatcher, was he?
No, he wasn't. That would have been worse.
Guaranteed to shock, impress or disgust your parents, friends, lovers or great Aunt Betty.
Did you meet each other at the dance parties?
No, we met romantically through friends.
The next dance party, well, it's very hard to capture Red Roll on this, so I think they're going to have a long, hard look to where they do have it.
What on earth possessed you to walk around bare-chested?
My girlfriend made me.
Are you a veteran at the dance parties?
Absolutely. This is my first one.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, it's my...
What are your impressions? This is your first one.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Lots of girls keep coming up wanting to touch them.
Are you a dance party person at all?
Not really. This is really the third big party I've been to.
What brings you along this evening?
Well, actually, I came with a group of friends and I'm just having a great time.
Yeah, downpour, and my curfew's not really what it should be this evening, but I thought, what the hell? Suck the piss, get it down you, and a half an hour from now I should feel like Farrah Fawcett.
Were you one of the Barbie girls?
Yeah, I'm one of the Lee Barbie.
What's your verdict on tonight?
Tonight's been heaven.
Because it's the last time at the docks this evening.
Isn't that sad?
It's a sad affair. But when I leave, I'm going to take a sheet of corrugated iron with me and call it a little memento of what yesterday used to be.
I love gay life.
Gay life?
Gay life, very, very...
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
Very sophisticated gay life, yeah.
In the world.
Very normal.
Yeah.
I think we should check the synoptic chart. That high pressure system should cause very early morning fogs tomorrow morning, tops of 22 all around.
Oh, I think it's fabulous. Great to catch up with old friends and that at a party. Yes.
Now, of course, we're going to move from this venue. Where should we move to?
Oh, just another shed.
I think we've revealed the depth of my questioning here. Do you want to say hello to your mother?
Hi, Mum.